So today we will discuss about the awk command. It is a very interesting and very important command. It's my favorite because it is very well used in processing tabular data. Every tabular data that you have, if you need to filter it, if you need to get information from it, all of it can be done using awk. A simple example, let's say I have this listing of the what I have in the user in the home user directory. So if you notice, it is like a tabular data, and if you notice, it's separated with a space. So basically we have one column, two columns, three columns, four columns, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns. We have 9 columns. If you consider the first one here, it is total and 64. This means what awk acknowledges is that this total is in column 1 and this 64 in column 2. And by default, awk gives a space as its default. So how can we take the information and use awk for the first time? So first, let me do it again. Awk. The very simple one is if you want to print all the data that we have. So you use print 0. Print 0 prints it again. So it prints it again. If I want to print only the first column, if I want to print the first column only, what I do is, so it print for me the first column only with the total. If I want to print the first column and the second column, okay, so awk will print for me the first and the second column. If I have 100 columns, it will print for me only 2 that I asked for. If I want to print the last column, so what it does is there's a special command called nf. So this nf, when it will print the last field. If you notice here, VM, VirtualBox, all of them are present, and I have the 64. Yes, because according to awk, 64 is the last field, although it is in the second column, but it is the last field. So this one you have to be very careful when you use nf. Another thing, if I want to print, like grep or said, I want to print the first 3 lines. If I want to print the first 3 lines, I will use nr row number less than or equal, let's say, to 3, and print $0, let's say. So now it printed the first 3 lines. If I want from 3 to 5, let's say, for example, how I do it is very simple. I put here a row, it's greater or equal to 3. I will use and nr less than or equal to 5. So it prints for me line 3, line 4, line 5. If you notice, line 3, line 4, line 5, from here it is these 3, 4, 5. Okay. Another thing, if I want to find, let's say, in this data, a capital V, and print all the data that have capital V inside. So what I will do here is, instead of this one, I will say search for me capital V dash print. So it looked for capital V in all the lines. We have videos, VirtualBox, VM. So it finds it and it puts it for me. Another thing, let's say if I want to get this 5, let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say I want to search for the number 5 in column 7. So what I will do is I will ask awk $7. Search for me for everything in $7 to have a 5 and print it equal to 5, not to exactly 5. So it printed for me this December 5. So sometimes, let's say I have here 13 and 13, and I need to check if there is a 13 in this column other than this column. So I will specify 1, 2, 3, 4. Specify $4 equal to 13. So it will check for the fourth column, not the third column. So this is very important. Another example we will consider is the date. The date command here is, if you notice, you get the full one. If I want to get the time, the date command has options to get the time, but because it's an awk tutorial, we will make our make things harder and use awk to get, let's say, the minutes here. So how do we get the minutes? First, through awk, if you notice, I have space, 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 space. So the time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the fifth column. So what I do is awk dash print $5. Okay, so I got this. In order to get this one, what I will do is I will also use awk. But how I will use it? I will tell awk, well, you know, consider the spacing is, instead of the space, consider it as a colon. We said the space can be a colon, it can be a slash. If you want to work in file names, it can be a slash, can be anything. So how we do it? We tell awk minus dash f. So the field separator, we tell it to put it as a colon, and then we print the ones that we have. Now, because it is a colon, this is the first one, this is the second. So we need print $2. Okay, so we got 12. Now it is 12 because it has changed time. The minute has changed. Okay, another thing we can use awk is like in Excel, like we use Excel. How we do it? First of all, if you remember, we considered before the sequence command. The sequence command, let's say, it prints for me from 1 to 12 with an addition of 2. This is how Excel also does it if you worked with Excel or data sheets. So now I have this one. Let me add another column, maybe another column, and do some manipulation using awk. Because now I have this one is a one column. So what I do is this one, I will pipe it to awk. I will tell awk, well, print for me $1, which is this file, and let me square $1. So I have a column $1 and I have a column $2. Do them on 2 lines. So now I have 2 columns. If I want 3, let's say, I will tell it to $, let's say, 1 plus $2, let's say. So it added $1 and it added it to $2. But the problem here is that $2 is being processed in this one, so that's why it considers $2 as 0. So we can do it in another way. So first you use this one, or we can do $1. $2 is already processed. Okay, $1 times 50 divided by 12. Okay. Now if you want, we can take this one and we make awk for it. It will directly understand it will directly understand that $2 is processed already. So if I want to, let's say I want to print $0, print everything, and then print for me $1 plus $2. Okay. So now it printed 1 plus 1 is 2, 3 plus 9 is 12, 5 plus 25 is 30, and 56. Let us continue. Now, when we look at the data that we have here, you see that the table is not very well formatted. So what we can do is we need to define the formatting, especially for the first three. Let's say the first column, let me do a fixed width of 4. And the second one has also 4 characters. The third one, maybe I will do 6 characters. And the fourth one I don't need. So it will be directly, there's no problem with the third. So if we look at this one, there is a command. Instead of print, I will use printf. I will use printf, and then what I will do is, this is the format. I will put a percentage, and I say 4 characters for the first one. 4d. D is a decimal integer. For the second one, the same. 4d. For the third one, I will put percentage 6.3 f, which means 6 characters and 3 after the point. F is the decimal point after the point. That's it. Because here we have 3. I finish it. I need to finish also with /n, which is you have to put enter, or it will put them all on one line. And later, so now if you notice, they are put like this, all of these like this. If you want this one to be left adjusted, so what you have to do is you put minus. Instead of 4d, you put a minus here, and you put a minus here, and you enter it. So it is now formatted.